I'm going on an adventure!
You may quest the way you like. I will quest the way I like.
What is your quest?
This is the first stop on your first quest. We shall go together.
What kind of a quest?
An ancient seer who helps many on their quest.
If it's for the quest, we will do what needs to be done.
Will be my quest.
For the quest.
Your quest.
Let us quest! This quest sucks.
Shout out to our new logo as well, as we're here on this special cast for Black Panther. Justin Reed with our new logo, man. Thank you so much. Be Positive Designs, dude. We can't thank you enough for that. We really do appreciate the new logo. You are a phenomenal artist. Check out his Instagram for Be Positive Designs. He's got some amazing artwork with some music albums, some other logos. He's such a phenomenal artist, and we can't thank him enough for sharing that art with us in our podcast. So thanks, Justin. We really appreciate it, man. IE for life, bro. We are here to chat about Black Panther. If you guys want to check out Black Panther, you want to know more about Black Panther, T'Challa, Wakanda, and everything that goes on with him, check out Turbo Comics, man. Wakanda forever. And B is a huge fan of Turbo Comics out there in Idaho, man. So shout out to those guys. There's links on our site, malice-corp.com. But after that, man, let's talk about the actual flick itself, the phenomenalness that is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Huge fan of this film.
Who go pray for me? That's all I'm gonna say.
Who go pray for me? Ryan Coogler. First of all, Ryan Coogler, this message is for you because I know you're such a huge fan of Quest for 100. I know you're a huge fan of Bcon's more than mine. I don't know. It's totally your choice, Ryan, but you'll regret it later. Because Bcon's clingy like that. So, but Ryan, to you and your team, thank you so much for this film, for everything it said, and every shout, every word, every movement, and every word that wasn't said in this film. Thank you for it. It was phenomenal. I'm just gonna start at the top of the cast with that. Coogler and his team crushed. So thank you for that.
Yes.
So this is going to be a spoiler cast. So if you guys are checking this out, before we start jumping into everything, know that this is spoiler cast. We are going to start talking about the film in actuality here. So if you have not seen it yet, this is the time to stop. You've been warned. And if you do keep going on and you want to complain about, we're spoilers, you guys suck, send that to jack.malice@gmail.com. He loves the hate mail, so make sure that he gets that. So we appreciate it.
If his mailbox is full, send it to Mess5150.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mess5150 is a big fan of it as well, but he likes to hear it from Jack after Jack gets it. He likes to be serenaded at night by Jack about the hate mail. So
both of them. So, hey. So
Black Panther.
Shout out to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, creators of
Black Panther. Yes. Just
Stan Lee's a fan too of the show.
He is. I mean, thank you, Stan. I appreciate it. Yeah.
He's gonna drop a new quest for 100. I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk about Black Panther. He's like, what?
Absolutely, Mr. Lee. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Stan.
In reality, it's my bobblehead Stan Lee over here that was talking.
He was still talking. He's connected. He's connected somehow, some way. So Black Panther, man. So first off, like we talked about in the main show, I have seen some really cool stuff with this Black Panther film. Stuff I've never seen at the theater before. I went to the theater, literally 80-year-old Juanita in the theater with all of her Wakanda gear on, ready to go, full garb. Amazing woman. Had such a cool conversation with her in the concession line. It's actually her third time going to watch the film. And I mean, it's middle of the day on a Saturday. This lady's probably got, cool games to go to and places to hang out. And what is she doing? She's hanging out in the theater watching Black Panther. Just amazing. I've seen everything from probably 2 to 3-year-old kids at this film to 80-year-olds now, and everything in between. I think this is a film that hits every single amazing story, plot point, everything around it. I cannot get enough of how good this was. I have seen it twice myself.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it again. I'm going to take my oldest son went with us the first time. My youngest son did not. So it gives me a great excuse to go watch it again and take my youngest. Because, man, I'm super stoked for it. Shout out to Chadwick Boseman, because we were talking about him from Black Mirror. If you remember Black Mirror season 1, episode 2.
Is that
the one where
that's
he's
not
riding the
Chadwick?
bike?
That's
Isn't
not,
it?
No, Chadwick is as T'Challa. Yeah. So it's not Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman has done some other films that are just phenomenal. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor on so many levels. But the buddy, who's the best friend? What's that guy's name?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yes, from Get Out. Yes,
Yes.
And yeah, Black Mirror episode 2, season 1. His speech, first of all, in Black Mirror. We'll get right back to Black Panther. Best speech that had ever occurred, far and away.
Film in that whole, not film, but that whole series. Absolutely. So far, one of the best moments.
Absolutely. And here's the thing: is this superhero movie Black Panther got that caliber of actor as a secondary, third, maybe even a fourth option actor. Yeah. I mean, that's how big this scope was. When you have Forrest Whitaker in the movie for less than probably a whole 15 minutes total screen time. Right. That's how big of a flick Black Panther was. That's how much it meant to so many of these people. Lupita Nyong'o, I probably blew that last name. I'm sorry, I totally butchered it. I apologize, Lupita. You are an amazing actress as well. You are so amazing. But one of my favorite characters of this film, man, and you're right, B, shout out to all of them. Shout out to every one of those guys. Michael B. Jordan, crushed. But, right. Michael B. Jordan, Warmonger is probably my top 3 Marvel villain. Maybe top 3, top 5 Marvel villain of all time now. I loved how real his character felt. That was an origin story that rivals any hero origin story. What Michael B. Jordan and Warmonger were a part of. That was phenomenal.
There's moments where you're like, should I really be like mad at him? Like, I mean, there's genuine moments where you have to question, like, I mean, Duke kind of got the raw end of the deal, man, when you really think about it. But, I mean, obviously, T'Challa recognizes that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, man.
Well, and here's the thing, and, we're going to skip around a little bit as a spoiler cast. But what he says at the end of the film, bury me in the ocean like my brothers that would rather have lived free or died free than lived in chains, right?
Yeah.
That right there, that line, first of all, was amazing. Michael B. crushed that. And that is where I went from Marvel's going to save this guy because they can't just let this amazing character go, to, oh, I'm so happy they let this guy die because it's true to his character. There's no way his character would have ever allowed himself to owe T'Challa or the people of Wakanda anything. Right. They owed it to him. He was the one that was owed every single thing that he earned and took for himself. And at that last moment, him going out that way was so true to that character, and I loved that they did that. I love that Marvel and Disney are letting characters die off like this and have meaning. Now, obviously, there is always a precedent in comic books to bring characters back that have supposedly died, but I really hope that they let that have such a meaning to what he does, because it creates that character of T'Challa, who has always been king first, hero second. It lets him continue that story of, I am the king of Wakanda, I am the hero of the earth second. And this tale of the Warmonger's situation here, it totally solidifies and justifies that he has to protect that throne before he can protect anything else. And I love what they did with this. They crushed it. They crushed it.
And I love how it kind of sneaks up on you, because you're thinking our boy Andy Serkis, as Ulysses Claw, is like the main villain in this thing. I mean, you're thinking like, oh, this dude's going to be the main bad guy. And then all of a sudden,
takes
out of nowhere.
Oh, it's so
you're
good.
Like, nope, he didn't make it that far.
Well, and what a great way to kill that normal trope, right? African-American, supervillain. It has the big bad white guy overarching, controlling everything from puppet strings. And what does Michael B. Jordan and Warmonger do? They smash that in the face. They throw it in a duffel bag, in a body bag, at the feet of Daniel Kaluuya and all the people of Wakanda and say, I am here to take this throne. I loved that. I loved
brought
it.
y'all a gift.
I loved that. I thought that was so amazing.
Yeah, he was so good, dude.
Michael B. Jordan, first of all, man, like I never thought he'd ever have the chops to be this good of a villain. To have such depth and such anger. I knew he was a great character actor. His role in Creed was so amazing. He's done so many other great things as well. But this right here, man, Michael B. Jordan, he floored me, man. Going and watching it the second time, I got to watch a little bit more of his subtleties because I got to watch, know what his true kind of motivations were and things like that the second watching. And my gosh, it was so much better. He was so much better the second watch than he was in the first one. Because you're kind of questioning what's going on. And the second one, you're like, oh, hell yeah. That's you should absolutely do that, Michael. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I mean, I obviously realized it when I watched it, but like Angela Bassett playing the Queen Mother.
Right.
I'm like, look at this list. Like, holy man.
Yeah,
dude.
no, check it out. I mean, he's the biggest.
So many good, just amazing actors and actresses in this movie.
I mean, you have people like Sterling K. Brown, who's literally on the biggest network show in the world right now with This Is Us, is in this film as technically a bit player. He's killed super early in the film. He has one little line, a couple of scenes afterwards later in the film, and that's it. Maybe 15 minutes tops of 10 minutes of screen time. Sterling K. Brown, when I see him at the beginning of that film, I'm like, what the? I was about to stand up and be like, is this Jumanji? What's happening here? Like, I mean, I was not ready for how amazing that was. And if you haven't seen our other podcasts, you're totally going to get that joke better. That's an insider for everybody who's seen our first two episodes. That one's going to keep running with us for a few episodes. But Sterling K. Brown, man, I mean, Forrest Whitaker, it just doesn't get, I mean, it gets, the names are so big, they're unbelievable that they're all in the same film. Especially a Marvel flick. Like, Marvel pulls big names, but they don't pull this. Like, this is other level big on the people they've pulled into this flick.
Yes.
And then I have a huge crush on Shuri as well. Her character as the younger sister to T'Challa, the tech engineer of all of Wakanda. I loved it. I absolutely loved her character. I loved that she was there as a protector of this tradition, of this world, yet she was throwing in all of her own flavor. And the music that was playing in her offices, like every time she was on screen, it made me smile. Like Shuri made me smile every time she was on screen, and I love that character as well.
I do have, there's one thing that I have an issue with her character.
Same. I have one.
Do you want to go there right now?
We can go there. I mean, we can go unless you want to. I'm still nerdgasm all over this thing for a little. I mean, but if we want to get to some criticisms of the film,
get back to nerdgasming. But spoiler alert: end of the movie. She's fighting. She's helping in the fight. She's engaging in the battle. She's created these suits. She knows that when they take damage, they charge up, and yet she's using the little ion blasters things,
which are sound waves. Which is motion, and is everything that this suit is meant to fight against. She knows this. She knows these strengths of these suits, yet she's playing right into the hands of the suits she created.
Yeah, she's just charging his suit, and it's like I didn't get. Like, for being such a smart, I mean, super intelligent woman, like to make. I don't know, to make that mistake.
And not even that mistake, to make that choice in general. Like, she is too thoughtful. She's too forward thinking and strategic in her thought processes. I mean, you saw the whole film. Everything she did, that film was so thought out and so meticulous.
All the improvements to the suits and the technology that she improved, and even like the earpieces and just everything that she was.
And that whole room she was in, where she arms up Lupita and everybody. The one weapon she grabs is the one weapon that is going to charge up the suit to create a kinetic blast that's going to hurt them. And to me, that was dishonest to that character. That was not true to that character and that character's ability and story. And that was one of my only my two gripes of this film was that they did not stay true to that character of Shuri by making her, she should have been the one that disabled the suits. She should have been the one that had that thought, not T'Challa down on the railway.
Get him. If they redeemed it by her saying like, get him onto the tracks where we can disable the suits.
Yeah.
And all of that thought.
And even had done something like that where she was like, why was I blasting him? We can disable him down there. T'Challa, disable him. That would have been more true to that character than her going out there guns blazing, knowing that she's only, you watched it in her, you watched her like, it was a surprise to her that this suit fired back on her with what she was doing. And that makes no sense to me. That made no sense at all.
Yeah, I was not cool with that part.
Yeah, that one hurt me. I told you that the other day. Yeah. The other one I had was during the Warmonger T'Challa fight. At one point, Warmonger takes out T'Challa, throws him off a waterfall, and everybody in there is like, he's dead, he's gone. Like they should have. All of those characters should know he's dead. The thing is, the audience, we have seen the trailer for Avengers Infinity War. We know T'Challa is not dead. He cannot die in this flick.
Right.
So why did they try to give us 15 minutes of him being dead and trying to make us think he's died? They didn't show his body. They kept telling everybody out there is like, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. There was a 15-minute piece in there where we're watching, flowers being stolen, all these things going on, and all these characters talking about how their brother is dead. And what they should have been doing is having a phenomenal moment of T'Challa's survival and him down there and showing us why he's such a badass.
Like they could have, instead of them having to explain, some of our fishermen found him.
Yes.
They could have just shown that, like 5 seconds scene of them just pulling him in and then be like, he's still alive. Just something like that. And then that's all you had to do.
Yeah.
And that would have been enough to cut back and forth.
You know what this movie really needed? It needed about a 5-minute montage of them, having some dope music from, Kendrick Lamar in there, of them going in, them stealing, T'Challa fighting through this waterfall and, scraping himself back up on, and Killmonger, ha ha ha, and, I've got Wakanda, and everybody's like, oh no, he's got Wakanda. Like, there could have been a 5-minute montage that gave us all those moments, but yet you would have not treated the audience like they were stupid. Because that, to me, the first time I watched it and the second time I watched it, I felt like they were just trying to cheat it. I felt like they were just trying to treat people like they were dumb. Like, how are you trying to create drama out of this moment? There's no drama in this moment, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to forcefully put drama on me where it's impossible to have, because we know he lives. We know he lives.
I'll be honest, like that, it didn't really bother me that much. I was into the movie, and I already knew what happened. I knew obviously he's not dead. I was okay with those characters believing he was dead. So
they should have believed. They should have believed he was dead.
I liked that we got the scene of
M'Baku
of Killmonger eating the flower, and then him having his.
That was phenomenal.
His father,
yes.
Like, and I felt like that was a good, because that was part of that 15 minutes was that scene, and that was a good long.
Well, that's why I said we needed a 5-minute montage to cut that down a little bit.
Not like I said, not even that. We just needed that clip so that you're right, so the audience, so you don't give that.
Just don't try to force a feeling on me that it would never be able to occur, because we know what's going on. Like, we know that he's alive, so don't try to force something on us. Like, don't try and sit there like, oh, did he make it? I don't know. How are you going to bring him back to life?
Yeah.
And the other thing was that I felt like there was opportunity there for M'Baku and his guys to have a little bit of story there as well. Maybe they find T'Challa and they have a different kind of conversation with them. And why should we help you? I felt like those characters, which I thought were really cool. I thought that was an awesome. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the name of them. Anyways, correct us in the chat room. Send us emails. Send us on Twitter the names of them there. But
they used gorillas in it. I don't remember what the
what?
I don't remember.
M'Baku and his people. That's what it is. Yeah. But I felt like they could have had some little bit more story into that, right? I felt like they could have had a cool little tale in there with the, you know, something about that. And, you know, I just felt like there was a bit of a missed opportunity was my biggest thing. Like, did it take away from the film? Not a ton by any way, shape, or form, but I felt like there was something left on the table that could have been done better in that scenario right there. That was everything has a chink in its armor. Every mountain has a pebble that brings it down. This was the one chink in the armor for me. But other than that, killed it.
Like I said, it didn't bother me. So
yeah, it got me, man. It got me, like I said, and that's probably because I see things. I keep watching this stuff and I do it over and over and over again. But at the same time, I just
okay, good. I thought I was saying something inappropriate there, and I did.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Manny. Okay, so they did call him that in the movie.
Good, nice.
His character. Yeah.
Nailed.
But I don't remember what they called his tribe.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
I was still looking for it.
That
guy was awesome.
So, what do you feel then about? I mean, is there any other parts of the film that you want to talk about? I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can sing praises on about this film. I mean, just crushed.
Okay, if I had one other gripe, I would have. This is not a big one. I would have put more of the soundtrack in it.
Oh yeah, why not? Why not?
There were parts that I was like, they were playing some music that wasn't actually in the soundtrack. I don't know if that makes it may have just been some like background stuff.
Yeah.
But that would have been way cool if they had just even put some of the instrumental parts of some of those songs in the background.
Yeah.
I thought would have been really, really cool. Because there's some beats that are just
killer.
Dope.
They're killer. Absolutely.
That was the only thing. I loved the leaving. Were they in South Korea? Is that where they were?
Thailand? Yes. Yeah. South Korea.
South Korea. And they're leaving, and what the hell is his name? Ulysses Claw gets in the car, and he's like, "Turn the music on." What the heck? Like, this isn't a funeral or something like that.
This is a car chase. Yeah, whatever it is. No, all the characters crushed. I was very happy with it. So there were 2 after the credit scenes that I want to chat about. So 2 post credits. The first one, we get T'Challa announcing to the world that Wakanda is a nation of wealth, and we are going to help the world out and help refugees and help provide relief efforts, all of those things. So T'Challa is announcing Wakanda's coming out of the shadows and helping the world. And I love the question right before it cuts to Chadwick's face right there. What does Wakanda have to bring to the rest of the world? And he just kind of gives that smile. And boom, cuts, right? Like, I just thought that was so cool. I love that it's this big joke to the rest of the world. What's going to go on.
I don't want to get into it, but did you catch the line that he dropped? We're going to build bridges, not barriers.
Oh, no, I didn't see that one. That's awesome. Yeah.
You should read up on. There's some articles out there about it, about that particular line and what it might have meant.
Yeah.
Who that was directed at. Yeah.
Nice. I'm all about it. I'm sure we know we could get all into that road of who it was directed at, but no, I think anytime you have a large scale film like this willing to make any statement, whether it's tongue in cheek, whether it's towards it, whether it's intended or not, stuff like that is phenomenal. Yeah.
And that's also speculation as to what that meant.
Yeah.
Them making it in the cutscene, I'm okay with that. It wasn't like we were saying. We were worried about alternative agendas coming out in the movie, and I don't think that we got any of that.
No.
So they want to drop that in the cutscene. I'm all for it. Go for it. It was good. It was funny.
Yeah, it was great. No, I thought it was awesome. And then the second one, which I was just giddy with enjoyment on, because we have Bucky shows up. He's missing his Winter Soldier, what is that, vibranium arm or adamantium arm, and he's there. And he's talking about they think he's healed. Him and Shuri are having a talk there, and the kids are calling him White Wolf. White Wolf, which is another protector of Wakanda, I believe, correct? I thought that was a really cool touch for Bucky to get that title of White Wolf. I think how cool would that be in Black Panther 2 to have Bucky in a white vibranium suit right along T'Challa.
Are we going to see him in
Well, we're seeing him in Infinity War, but he has his arm in Infinity Wars. He's not in the White Wolf gear. So we'll see. Maybe he gets it. Maybe he. Yes, this is very true. This is very true.
A vibranium arm.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be great. I think that. I don't know. I didn't see. They might have showed his arm with the red star on it previously, but I think his arm is vibranium. I don't know if it's adamantium or not, but I don't know what they've.
Yeah, I don't think it was originally because it got damn like.
It's always been vibranium from what I know, but I don't know when they busted that out if they were gonna bring in Wakanda and other stuff like that. So
figuring that out, you should go check out the backstories of
at Turbo Comics.
Go to Turbo Comics at Turbo Comics ID or Turbo Comics on Facebook. Check them out. They'll answer that question for you by sending you some great comics.
Absolutely. They absolutely will.
I'll tell you exactly which comic it is that you need to read in order to get your answer.
Absolutely. But I like both of the post-credit stuff. I thought those are both cool. When does Marvel have to start giving us 3 post-credit scenes? They used to just give us 1, and now we've been getting 2. When do we have to start getting 3 of these now? That's what I want to know. They seem to be getting a little ridiculous at the end of these films with the post-credit scenes.
They've trained us well, though, for the most part.
Absolutely.
I did have people walking out, which I was a little weirded out by. I was like, what? There's going to be more than one. Like, they stayed for the first one. They figured out that was going to happen. And then I had people walking out, and I'm like, that there's 2, right? Like, I go into Marvel films, and before I go into the film, I always just real quick do a search, and I just say how many, and it's funny because it'll pop up. Like, I go, how many post-credit scenes are in Black Panther?
It's the most Google thing out at the time.
Yeah, and so
That's
I always
funny.
check just to make sure, like, all right, is there 2? Is there 3? How many are there? And man, it was so good, dude.
They were great. They were awesome. I loved the story. I love the show. I love what we're leading into with Infinity Wars, with the story. I'm not gonna lie though, I was hoping to get a little Nomad or some Captain America there at the end when they showed off Bucky and White Wolf. I was hoping we'd get a little extra there, Cap or something showing up too, but that's okay. It's all right, no worries. This is Black Panther's film, not Cap's, so I'm completely fine.
I was
with that.
okay with how they handle it. Like, it was, yeah, man, it was good.
Yeah, I just everything's leading into Infinity War now. Infinity War's coming out in a couple months now, into May, I believe. And it's, everything's leading to that now. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I've got my Black Panther in and ready. Now, one thing, though, is that I wanted to ask you about. So now that we've tied in Fox and Marvel to everybody's under Disney now, how cool would it be if we get Storm being reunited with her families in Wakanda and her marrying T'Challa like they have in the comic books?
Well, don't we have to get X-Men into that universe?
Well, that's the thing. We have to figure that out, right? This could be an easy way. This could be another one of the ways that we can bring X-Men into the fold.
Does Disney own those rights now?
Yeah, they've purchased everything in FX. Yeah, Fox.
About Fox, so they own.
They get the mutants back.
Rights.
X-Men and mutants are back in action with Marvel and Disney.
And now we can get Deadpool in there as well.
Yep, Deadpool, Cable are available to join in. All the New Mutant stuff coming out this year as well, which, by the way, I finally saw a trailer for New Mutants. Looks phenomenal. I'm really excited about that as well.
Maybe our good friend, great friend of the show, Hugh Jackman, will reprise his role as Wolverine and team up with Deadpool.
Let us know, man. Jack, man, let us know. Send us a call, man. We'll be ready for your phone call, dude. Yeah, you got us. You know how to get it. You know how to get a hold of us. Just like everybody else. You don't get that much special treatment around here, Jackman. You may be the greatest showman, but you're just another one of our fans. So, goodness gracious.
But my favorite. By the way, since we were talking about this, is my top 5 now. Mm-hmm. It's in my top 5. For me, Logan is still my number 1 comic book movie of all time.
Yeah, this and Logan are fighting for 3 for me right now. You know, this and Logan are kind of fighting back and forth with 3 and 4. Dark Knight number 1, absolutely 100% number 1. And number 2 is by a very recent go, but it's Spider-Man: Homecoming. Michael Keaton to me is the best villain of any Marvel film, or at any Marvel film. He's number 2 in superheroes. His portrayal of the Vulture was bar none the best thing that's ever happened to Marvel films. And Sony has half of those rights. So I loved what those guys did, and Killmonger is so close to that. You know, when you're talking about Marvel movies and villains, it's hard for me to find someone better than Killmonger, but Loki has just been such a big part of a lot of these films, and that's why he would probably be my number 2. But Killmonger would be right there, and find me on a different day, and Killmonger would probably take over the spot from Loki for number 2. So,
like, we've been saying it for a long time in our normal MaliceCast, but we need a good Fantastic Four movie so we can have a good Doctor Doom.
Yeah, because unfortunately, like Michael B. Jordan, he was part of a terrible one. So he finally got himself a good superhero flick here.
Oh, redemption.
Yeah, he got his redemption. He got his redemption of a good superhero film. And we could use a good Fantastic Four, absolutely. And now that these worlds are coming together and colliding, these are really easy ways to start bringing these worlds together. We have so many ties now. I mean, you could even do, like Iron Fist, venturing into Wakanda. Like there's so many tales of Iron Fist, being able to, he's one of the few that has free reign to come and go through Wakanda. Because he can do it with Kunlun as well. There's stories of Black Panther T'Challa being trained from, monks from Kunlun. There's so much of that. There's so much stories and things like that. And there's so many ways you could tie it in. And Black Panther becomes a very central part to how many different million ways you could tie in these stories.
True that.
Oh, I'm just so glad he's here. I'm just so glad. Black Panther is such a cool character. And I love that they stayed so true to it, and as long as they stay true to this one thing from Black Panther, that he is a king first and a superhero second, they will never do him wrong. And that's what was so exciting to me. And this, like we talked about in the show, is that ending moment with him and Killmonger, where Killmonger, lets everybody know that he would rather be buried in the ocean with his ancestors, because they knew it was better to die free than to live a slave. And
they'd rather jump over ship than to remain in any kind of slavery.
Yeah, and that right there is just, it's so true to who Killmonger is, first of all, but also to what T'Challa has to think of himself as well, that he's not a superhero, because superheroes have to do all these other things. He has to remain that king. And that right there, that statement of never mistaking what actual living is, that's going to be a big thing. And I love that they did that. I love they took the risk by killing off a phenomenal villain like that. Once again, there's always precedents of villains coming back in every comic book movie, but I hope they let that mean something, Killmonger's death, because it was phenomenal. It was done so well, and I would hate for them to do anything that would tarnish that.
Well, I think also, just on that same note, with Black Panther now being tied to the Marvel universe, the Marvel extended, whatever you want to call it,
MCU,
yeah, there you go. Because of that, you don't necessarily have to you can let that death happen and be meaningful without sacrificing content. You know what I mean? You can allow that to just simmer in fans' minds, allow that character to have that dignity of like being true to the character, and not, because you got so many other stories you can still tell.
Yeah, and here's the great part about this, and this is where I think both Marvel and DC need to start taking notes, because I know you guys, you guys talked a little bit about this, and I'm very much a fan of DC using Flashpoint as a reset. They're already recasting Joker, they're already recasting Batman. that is a huge issue, a huge segue for them to be able to reset their universe, because they've had so many poor goes at what they've been trying to do with the Snyderverse, which sucks because I think Snyder's been catching a bad rap. I think that, there's a lot going on with that. Unfortunately, I don't want to dive too much into that. His poor family, and the death of his daughter were something that really hurt him, and that stuff comes first, than our entertainment in a movie universe. So that's something else. That's a whole nother piece of what could have been. But with Marvel, they also have the ability now to start telling some of these side stories and some of these smaller stories. Because first of all, you have Doctor Strange, who can control time, and he can bring people back to life. He can, he can do all those different things, go into different universes, go into different timelines, bring people back. But that's
where I'm hoping they tie Doctor Doom back to Strange.
Well, but here's the bigger piece, though, is because you have X-Men Days of Future Past, who have their time travel, and now you also have Cable and Deadpool, who Cable has also unlocked the timelines. So there are now multiple ways for Marvel to have their time travel pieces in as well, to reset any timelines, to bring anybody back they want to, because they now have multiple outs and ways to bring these universes together, first of all, but more than importantly, to travel up and down the timelines, which they've already done with like Days of Future Past and things like that. So,
well, because we both love comics, and there's one thing about comics that every single comic that's ever been written has, and it's the retcon.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And and this is a place now where
amazing way to do it.
The Flashpoint would be a phenomenal way to do it for DC. This is the Black Panther cast, and I don't want to. We can do DC stuff another day, because I'm all about that. I love the DC stuff, and I love what they're trying to set up. I hope that they're trying to set up that with Flashpoint. I think that'd be a phenomenal thing to do. It would be so smart of them to do, especially because you have someone where you want to keep two people. You really want to keep Wonder Woman. You really want to probably keep Aquaman. You can, and the thing is Barry Allen. You can have him, Wally West. You can have so many versions of the Flash. It doesn't really matter how they collide, but you can keep those two because they're powerful enough as gods to fight through some of that stuff. Diana Prince. They're on an island that is immune to the flow of time on the islands of Amazons.
You can pick and choose who you want to keep.
Absolutely.
Do you want to keep? I can't remember the guy's name that's playing Superman.
Henry Cavill. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to keep him as Superman?
Yeah.
You can make that choice as a universe because you're making this Flashpoint. It allows you to do that, and it's still continuity.
Yeah.
That's the point about Flashpoint. It's actually stayed true to the comic.
Yeah.
But I would love for have you seen Flashpoint Paradox?
Absolutely.
Seen it, right?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah. I've read a lot of the Flashpoint books as well. I mean, just awesome.
I would love, dude, to see the Bruce Wayne's dad as Batman. That storyline of his dad as Batman because Bruce died.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, you have Mr. Wayne and Martha. Martha's the Joker, and why can't I think of his father's name right now? But yeah, Mr. Wayne is the Batman at the time. That would be awesome. The one thing though is because there's all of these talks of Joaquin Phoenix going into the Joker. One of the amazing stories that's out right now in comic books is the White Knight, where the Joker has actually, taken up the mantle of the rich playboy and the Batman in these comic books, and Bruce Wayne has turned into the villain. And I think with Joaquin Phoenix, he's not like he can play the complete psycho if you want him to, but he could also play that dashing character, that higher end character. And I think the White Knight would actually be a really cool story to tell as they're trying to redo all that as well. And it's a little bit newer out, and it'd be a really cool twist to it. I don't know if the movie fans are as ready for that as the comic book fans are. Like, I was ready for a different Joker story, and White Knight is definitely giving that to me. I don't know if the movie fans are quite ready for that. But at the same time, you have the poster of him back there with Heath Ledger as the Joker. If you do another Joker on that tail, that's what you have to live up to. That's the watermark. And
Good luck.
if you do that same tale, this is a way, if you do the White Knight stuff or a Flashpoint style where you can create the White Knight with the Flashpoint, you don't have to sit there and go after that watermark. You can do something new.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. So those are all my crazy fan theories for the night.
Black Panther, yeah. Loved it. Go watch it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's over.
But Black Panther. I'm so happy for this. I love that we have Marvel and we have FX and Disney and all these guys together now, because now we have mutants back into the fold with our heroes and our super powers and all these things, because now we can do a true civil war where we have mutants versus the world, and we can do Avengers versus X-Men now. I mean, you have some of these huge, amazing story arcs that you can clash with these amazing characters, and that's exciting to me.
Totally agree. The one thing I wanted to end on with Black Panther, though,
let's end Black Panther style. We started with Black Panther. Let's end with Black Panther.
Is that we didn't talk about Danae Guerrera.
Okay. Yeah.
Who plays Okoye.
Yep.
And she's Michonne in The Walking Dead, which is coming back on Sunday. So by the time you're hearing this, you should have already seen the return episode of The Walking Dead. And she's an amazing actress, and she just killed it in this movie.
Yeah, she crushed.
Fantastic job.
Her leading her warrior women are just amazing. I mean, other level. The King's Protectors are so badass. Such killer fighter. I mean, just so good.
He breathes like an antelope in headlights. Yeah. Loved it, dude. And then the does she speak English when she wants to?
When she wants to. Yes, while they're sitting there with the FBI. Yes, that was awesome. All the interaction between all these characters was one of my favorite pieces for sure.
Yeah.
It just didn't. I mean, you very rarely see on-screen chemistry from every single person to every single person, and Black Panther had that in spades. I hope Ryan Coogler's out there sharing his secrets with the rest of Hollywood as to how to just blow a movie out of the water. And because God, this was such a cool, I mean, it already had a ton of hype. I think this is one of the first times a movie has not only hit the hype, but surpassed the hype in such a big way.
Totally agree. Could not agree more right now.
Yeah. God, it's so good. B, that's all I have for it, man. What else you got for us?
That's all I got. So we really appreciate you sticking with us and listening to a little bit of Black Panther. Hopefully you've seen the movie before you've watched this, and if you haven't, it should not derail you from watching it, because we didn't spoil that much. So that he's alive anyway, because he gets to Infinity War. So we may have just spoiled a couple little parts though for you, but I guarantee you, if you go watch it, I guarantee you will enjoy it.
Yep. I appreciate everybody sticking through my we'll be back. I appreciate everybody sticking through my tangent there. I went on a nerd wild ride. That's nerd mosh pit and me taking over from that. But we appreciate you guys. We thank you so much. We appreciate the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes. Send us the emails. Keep sending the love, the tweets at us. Once again, you can hit us at Quest for Movies on Twitter. You can also get Quest for 100 Movies at gmail.com if you want to join the conversation with anything. You can follow me, the Big Papa Matt, at Twitter. You can also hit me up on PlayStation Network under Son of Maku, SONOFMAKU, as well as Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff as well. And I can just keep this going. We have my new Vero is a new. I'll be hitting that up. Pinterest. I'm on all that. No, I don't know. B, what's up, dude? Where can the folks find you and follow you if they want to see more Bcon?
Yeah. Follow me at Bcon_MaliceCorp on Twitter, as well as PlayStation Network. I've got my Star Wars.
Yeah, sorry, I'm wearing my Willy Wonka again. He just seems to. He just keeps having I have that perfect rotation right now with my World of Imagination, Ready Player One. It keeps my Willy Wonka shirt keeps popping up on the casts.
Love it, dude. Love it. so much.
Gene.
Wow, man.
Malice-corp.com. Hit us up. Find us there. Find all of our other family of podcasts on the site. We also have some amazing articles by amazing writers and friends of ours as well. Check out our show every Friday at MaliceCast as well. And we hope you guys had a great time, man. Thank you again. Don't forget to share, and we'll talk to you soon. See you the next time on the Quest for 100.
Yeah, friends don't let friends quest alone.
Wow. Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all.
It's a dangerous business, Frodo. Going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.